Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Box Score Sports Podcast. I am your host, Ryan, and wow, I can't even handle it anymore. Can't deal with it. I'm going to die. That game was far too close than it really needed to be. I just can't believe that. The Dolphins are 2-0. That's awesome. We're going to talk about three things I'm going to take away from each and every game. It's my instant reaction, but I just have to say, man, I cannot believe how close that game was. It felt like the Dolphins were in control the entire game, and yet the Patriots had a chance to tie it in the last minute. I can't believe it. It was crazy. So let's talk about some of the good things. First of all, before we get to the Dolphins side of it, because that's what we're here for, the Patriots side of it, that the one thing I want to call out is that block punt. That was a crazy play. I think more NFL teams will now do it, and more NFL teams will be aware of it. But give Bill Belichick an opportunity; he'll find a way. That's all I'm going to say. He always finds these wrinkles to try and help give his team the advantage. The other thing, the last play. Let's talk about that, because that's obviously going to be a big talking point, I think, tomorrow. Was there enough to overturn it? Yes, they gave too much of a generous spot. Basically they had the ball on the other side of the 29. If you go and check and where they initially spot the ball, he was stopped before the 29. Now, I don't know how close. I'm surprised they didn't measure it. I think it was short, but I'm biased, so I'm going to say it was short, but I don't know that for sure. But considering that there was a couple of things that the Patriots got away with in the game, in particular, the one touchdown where Hunter Henry was a blocker about 2 yards downfield, technically he's not allowed to catch the football at that point. And he caught the touchdown, I think it was the second touchdown for the Patriots. I think we can all agree that maybe things evened out. So it's fine. It's fine, guys. Not that we want to use one call to make up another, but if we're really going to get nitpicky, we got to nitpick everything. That's the problem. I think they got the right call, but wow, that was way too close for comfort. Mac Jones, he was had impressive throws and not impressive throws, kind of up and down. I think he's still learning the Bill O'Brien offense. I think he's going to figure it out, and I think he'll be fine. I've always felt like he's going to be kind of like the somewhere between the 17th, 16th, 15th, 14th best quarterback. You know what I'm saying? In that middle range. And we'll see if he gets there. But he was fine. Okay, let's get to the more important team, the most important team, the Dolphins. Okay, so let me just talk about a couple things that I noticed throughout this game. Particularly, I'd like to pick three things. The first and foremost is the run game was there today, and it was awesome. I think Mike Daniels went into this game knowing that he just had to take what Bill Belichick was giving the Miami Dolphins. And the Patriots were playing their safeties high. They had three safeties high for a little bit. I noticed early on in the game, it kept getting pointed out. So I just wonder, Mostert averaged 6.7 yards a carry. He had that one big run that was 40 yards or 43 yards. But they were able to run the ball effectively all game, and I really like that they did that. Now, they had to lead the most of the game, so the fact that they only really ran the ball about 21, 22 times, I'd like to see it a little bit more, but it's not that big of a deal, right? Because they seem to move the ball effectively all game, and that was one of the biggest surprises of this game, in my opinion, is the fact that they moved the ball so well. The Dolphins did, through the ground and in the air as well, and yet they were only up by 7, right? It's interesting, but they were on the road, so we'll give them that. So Mostert, the run game, that was sort of a revelation in this game. The fact that the Dolphins seem to be able to run the ball effectively, at least in today's game, means maybe that's something that they can carry on moving forward, and the different ways in which they attack the run game. A lot of outside runs, but then they started hitting up the middle the more the game went on, but they were finding little holes as they ran to the outside, outside the tackles. The second thing I'm gonna say is Tua had a good game. If I had to grade him last week, I gave him an A-. I'd probably give him like a B or B+. There was some throws, man, that he made. I'm just like, man, I don't even know if there's a handful of quarterbacks that could make those throws in the NFL. One was to Braxton Berrios at I think the end of the first half up the sideline. That was a beautiful throw. And by the way, not all of it is his fault. I think he had a really good game, but the problem, he there was a couple drops, not his fault. Tyreek slipped down and fell, but I'm going to say B+. That's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to say B+. He had that interception, and I think I figured out, this is my theory on why Tua's deep ball looks so bad at times. I think he just puts too much air under it. He puts a ton of air under the deep ball that the defender has time to get there, and it doesn't get to where it needs to go fast enough. That's my theory. Because he had Tyreek wide open downfield. If he would have just threw it as hard as he could, line drived it, so to speak, Tyreek would have had to slow down either way, but the ball would have at least got there, right? So to a pretty good game, but again, he is so good at like precision. He reads the defense well. There was also there was a couple of risky throws that he made that worked out, which is part of what makes him an elite quarterback, is he can make those throws. So I just wanted to add, like, Tua, solid game by him. I'm going to give him a B+. It could have been a little better, but we're not going to complain. Bill Belichick, basically the head coach of the other team, Hall of Fame head coach, he was able to kind of slow Tua down, if you know what I mean. Like, he only scored 20 points. He didn't throw for 400 yards today. That's all I'm saying. Finally, let's give some kudos to the defense, right? It seemed like the defense, especially in the second half, was being put on the spot over and over and over again, and they kind of came up. And then obviously they ran out of steam because of the quick hurry up offense that the Patriots started to really play in this game. They kind of did it on and off throughout the game, especially in the second half, and it tired out the defense, but defense was able to hold its own. Bradley Chubb, a couple of good plays. He had that strip sack. I mean, not strip sack, but that sack. And then he stripped the ball when the Patriots were on the Dolphins 30-yard line about. He was able to strip the ball, get the turnover. Xavier Howard had an interception, almost a second interception. And then Van Ginkel was awesome. I'm going to call him Clay Matthews light. There was a couple of moves. He was all over the field today. I think he had 7 tackles, a tackle for loss. He hit the quarterback 3 times. He also had a sack. He was just all over the place on the field, and he's part of the reason why that last play was reviewed and it measured short, or I guess not technically measured, but they said it was short of the line to game because he was pulling on the arms of the offensive lineman. So good for him. And that defense, after last week's performance, when they allowed almost 300 yards rushing, it wasn't quite there. They only allowed a total of 88 yards on the ground. 25 of them were Mac Jones scrambling. Steve Stevenson there, who's their best offensive player, only averaged 3.3 yards a carry. So it was a great day, I think, for the defense more so than the offense, which is good because the Dolphins are learning to win in different ways. And I absolutely loved the way they won this game, although I did not love the heart attack I had the first time and the second time those heart attacks happened. Now, the one thing I will say, though, there's one thing I want to say about Mike McDaniels. Great head coach. I love him. That 55-yard field goal, don't do that again. Okay, Jason Sanders, you saw his percentage. It was like at 32% from 50 or longer. Don't be kicking 55-yard field goals. Either punt it or go for it. That kind of gave the momentum to the Patriots that that could have ended up winning the game for them. I would have made them travel the distance of the field, which is something that they weren't able to do basically all game. They did it once all game, make them travel the field again. That's what I would have done. Now, it didn't end up biting them in the butt, but it could have. So that coaching decision was the only one that I came out away from and been like, I didn't really care for that decision to kick the 55-yard field goal. I would have either went for it in that moment, because you have a better chance of getting the fourth down, converting the fourth down on that play than you do making the field goal, or I would have rather punted to play the field position game. Okay, guys, but all in all, we are excited, Dolphin fans. We are 2-0. We beat the LA Chargers. We beat the Patriots. So not only are we ahead for that wild card, right now we're standing first in the AFC East. It's only 2 weeks, but let's get excited because it looks like we really have a complete team here that we can look forward to watching all season, as long as everybody can stay healthy. I hope you guys enjoyed. That's just my instant reaction. We'll talk to you guys. Before I forget, let me know what you thought about the game. Let me know what you thought about the Patriots side, the Dolphins side, or anything you want to talk about of week 2 of the NFL. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.